Calm the mind, restore energy and balance emotions. For in the silence of thought, the clarity of purpose is born, and the power to act decisively takes root. The mind is a river, endlessly rushing, sometimes turbulent, sometimes shallow, but always alive. And when we learn to guide its current rather than be swept away, we unlock the potential that has always existed within us. Life is a series of storms, and our inner weather determines whether we bend, break, or rise. Calm is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of mastery over response. The first step is recognition. Understand that thoughts are not commands, emotions are not dictators, and energy is not infinite unless carefully cultivated. Begin by noticing the unrest within the impatience, the irritation, the subtle whispers of fear that cloud judgment. Accept them without judgment, and in that acceptance, the first hint of freedom appears. Like a skilled musician tuning an instrument, we must first listen before we can play in harmony. Observe the tension in the body, the quickening of the heart, the churning in the stomach, and let awareness transform reactivity into intelligence. The breath is the gateway. Slow, deliberate, and conscious inhalations and exhalations remind us that life moves in rhythm, that every inhale carries opportunity, every exhale releases resistance. Through breath, energy is restored, and the mind discovers its natural stillness. Like a lake at dawn, calm reflects clarity, and clarity reveals truth. Discipline of attention is the bridge between chaos and calm. What you feed, you nourish. What you ignore, you starve. When the mind is scattered, scattered will follow. Choose focus, even in fleeting moments, and the energy that once dissipated now charges purpose. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Meditation is not withdrawal, it is training ground. In these quiet moments, emotions are examined, patterns are revealed, and the power to choose emerges. Anger is transformed into assertiveness, anxiety into strategy, impatience into perseverance. Each emotion, once recognized and understood, becomes an ally, a messenger, a tool that informs wise action. Energy is the currency of life, and without it, even the greatest ideas falter. Physical movement, aligned with awareness, restores the body and awakens vitality. Exercise is not punishment. It is celebration of capacity. Sleep is not indulgence. It is replenishment of reserves. Nutrition is not restriction. It is fuel for intention. When the body is honored, the mind becomes a disciplined conductor, orchestrating thoughts, emotions, and actions in a symphony of effectiveness. The energy within flows outward, touching work, relationships, and creativity. It is not enough to simply act. One must act with the full force of restored energy and directed purpose. Emotional balance is cultivated through observation and choice. Life will provoke, circumstances will challenge, and people will test patience. But the master of emotion knows that control is not suppression, that calm is not passivity, and that balance is not neutrality. To respond rather than react is to claim sovereignty over oneself. Do not be swept away by the currents of external events. Instead, anchor in the internal certainty that emotions are temporary signals, not permanent states. When joy arises, receive it fully. When grief descends, acknowledge it without surrender. In the steady navigation of this emotional landscape, resilience is built, wisdom grows, and freedom is claimed. Thoughts are architects of reality, and unchecked thoughts become tyrants. Begin each day with deliberate mental direction, affirming clarity, energy, and equanimity. Reject the invasion of doubt, pessimism, and envy. Instead, visualize outcomes, rehearse positive action, and cultivate gratitude as a shield and lens. The mind trained in this way is a fortress, unshaken by external noise, unclouded by rumor or fear. From this place, creativity flourishes, decisions are decisive, and opportunities are recognized with immediacy. Calm thought, balanced emotion, and restored energy converge to create unstoppable momentum. Communication with self and others becomes clear when inner turbulence is settled. Words carry weight, and intentions carry resonance. When the mind is calm, energy restored, and emotions balanced, speech is measured, listening is active, and understanding deepens. Conflict is not a battlefield, it is an arena for insight. Relationships thrive when presence is authentic, patience is cultivated, and empathy guides expression. The energy once consumed by agitation now flows into connection, influence, and leadership. Life's inevitable challenges become mirrors reflecting inner mastery. Stress is reframed as signal. Fatigue as a reminder. Disappointment as guidance. Through consistent practice of mental calm, energetic restoration, and emotional balance, adversity no longer dictates outcomes. Instead, adversity tests preparation, sharpens skill, and reveals strength previously unnoticed. The individual who cultivates this triad of mastery walks through the world with unwavering poise, attracting success, influence, and fulfillment. Every action, every choice, every thought becomes a deliberate act of alignment. When the mind is clear, energy abundant, and emotions balanced, life becomes less about reaction and more about creation. Obstacles are opportunities, pain is a teacher, and growth is inevitable. The person who achieves this state does not merely survive life. They command it. They move through uncertainty with confidence, through difficulty with calm, and through triumph with humility. Return repeatedly to this practice. Let calmness be your constant companion, energy your loyal force, and emotional balance your guiding principle. Build rituals, honor routines, respect cycles of rest and action. Watch as productivity multiplies, clarity deepens, and relationships flourish. Witness the transformation as your inner world shapes the outer world. Life becomes a reflection of mastery, not circumstance. In the end, the power lies not in changing the external chaos, but in mastering the internal realm. Calm the mind, restore energy, and balance emotions, and you will awaken a force within you that cannot be shaken by fleeting events. The mind, body, and heart, when aligned, create a resonance that commands respect, attracts opportunity, and manifests success. This is the path of deliberate living, the discipline of inner mastery, the art of unstoppable presence. Stand in it, breathe in it, and allow your life to be a testament to the strength cultivated within. A life where challenges are met with calm, energy flows without hindrance, and emotions serve as guides to wisdom, courage, and fulfillment. Energy, once replenished, becomes the fuel for disciplined action. The mind, when calm, identifies opportunities hidden beneath the noise of haste and distraction. There is power in slowing down, in observing before responding, in allowing clarity to shape intention. Every small, deliberate act compounds, building momentum that carries you through tasks others find exhausting. Those who chase success recklessly exhaust themselves. Those who master calm harness energy to multiply impact. Life rewards consistency, precision, and presence, not mere busyness. Each decision, when made from a place of balanced mind and restored vitality, becomes a brick in the fortress of achievement. Emotions, the silent architects of behavior, can no longer dictate your story. Anger, fear, frustration, once treated as enemies, are now teachers. You listen, you understand, you redirect their energy into insight, creativity, and action. You see the opportunity behind discomfort, the lesson hidden in struggle, and the clarity arising from confrontation. Emotional balance is not denial but dominion. It is the ability to acknowledge, feel, and then respond with purpose. It is the difference between reaction and mastery, between wandering in chaos and walking in command. Each time you respond with calm, instead of flair, you reinforce the structure of your inner authority, building a life of resilience, freedom, and influence. The body is the vessel of the mind, and without care, all the clarity and insight in the world are powerless. Nutrition, rest, movement, these are not optional. They are essential disciplines that sustain mental acuity and emotional resilience. Energy cannot be borrowed or faked. It must be generated, nurtured, and preserved. Daily rituals, whether in movement, meditation, or mindful action, are the unseen architecture that supports extraordinary accomplishment. The 1% of achievers are not those who endure chaos blindly. They are those who orchestrate their energy, preserving it for the tasks that matter most. You, too, can learn this orchestration. Clarity of mind and vitality of body translate into precision of action. With each goal, every ambition, every vision, you move with decisiveness. Procrastination fades when energy is available, when emotions are balanced, and when mental clutter is cleared. The mind sees the next step with confidence. The body follows without hesitation. The spirit persists without complaint. This alignment, invisible yet palpable, becomes the foundation for success in work, relationships, and personal growth. Every step forward is accelerated by the strength cultivated within. Every challenge met with an inner force untouched by circumstance. Communication with others reflects the internal state of mastery. Words, gestures, tone, and presence convey confidence and clarity. Listening becomes active and attentive. Speaking becomes intentional and impactful. Conflicts resolve with wisdom. Negotiations advance with calm authority. Leadership emerges naturally. Influence is not demanded. It flows from presence, from energy, and from emotional balance. Those around you recognize it instantly, responding to the quiet command of someone who has mastered self before seeking to manage others. In times of stress, when life presses with urgency and unpredictability, mastery of mind and energy ensures survival and triumph. Stress is no longer a tyrant but a measure, a signal to adjust, to breathe, to act deliberately. Pressure becomes a forge in which resilience is tempered. Your reactions, now measured and deliberate, create pathways where others see only obstacles. Pain and challenge become opportunities to exercise mastery, to expand capability, and to deepen understanding. Every day, practice repetition. Repetition is the sculptor of skill, the anchor of habit, the architect of mastery. Begin with your breath, move to posture, attend to nutrition, engage in disciplined thought, and conclude with reflection. Repeat relentlessly, not for ritual's sake, but for the power of internalization. Through repetition, calm becomes instinctive, energy becomes natural, and emotional balance becomes default. The world, unpredictable and chaotic, no longer dictates your state, your internal mastery does. Even small moments of awareness, consciously embraced, multiply in effect. Waiting at a traffic light, standing in line, listening deeply, choosing words with care, these are not trivial. They are exercises in dominance over impulse. Each choice reinforces the neural pathways of calm, energy, and balance. Each moment, consciously navigated, strengthens the architecture of a life unshaken by external turbulence. Patience, a skill often overlooked, becomes your ally. The world rewards the patient strategist more than the reactive opportunist. Calm allows discernment. Restored energy permits sustained effort. Balanced emotions guide choices. In this triad lies the secret of enduring success. Those who rush, reacting to every stimulus, exhaust themselves and their opportunities. Those who move deliberately, anchored in clarity and vitality, bend the currents of circumstance to their will. Vision is born from stillness. In the quiet of the mind, with energy replenished and emotions balanced, ideas arise unbidden. Creativity, insight, strategy, and innovation flow freely when the internal landscape is prepared. These are not moments of luck. They are the inevitable outcome of cultivation. The fertile soil of calm, nourished by energy, watered with emotional balance, yields ideas that transform lives. Each action taken with this alignment carries more weight. Decisions are sharper, execution faster, results clearer. The synergy between mind, body, and emotion creates a momentum that amplifies impact. Small choices compound into significant outcomes. Disciplined consistency becomes unstoppable force. Through this, life's challenges are not endured. They are commanded, navigated, and transformed into triumph. This path requires relentless self-honesty. Observe your weaknesses, embrace your discomforts, and confront your limitations without fear. Growth is not comfortable, but comfort does not yield greatness. Each acknowledgement of personal truth strengthens the foundation of mastery. Each correction of imbalance, whether in thought, energy, or emotion, reinforces resilience. The conscious pursuit of self-mastery becomes a living ritual, an ever-present guide, a defining force of character and destiny. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. It is forged in the small acts repeated daily, invisible yet invincible. When the mind is calm, energy is abundant, and emotions are balanced, discipline flows naturally. You no longer wrestle with resistance. You move with purpose, guided by the invisible compass of internal mastery. Habits, once cultivated, act as faithful allies, structures that maintain order, precision, and momentum, even when motivation falters. Each day becomes a rehearsal for excellence, and the accumulation of these rehearsals crafts a life of mastery, influence, and impact. Focus, sharpened by calm, and sustained by energy, becomes your greatest weapon. The ability to direct attention without distraction allows you to see opportunity where others see only chaos. The mind, free from clutter, identifies patterns, solves problems, and creates solutions that were previously invisible. Focus magnifies effort, transforming average actions into extraordinary results. Every distraction resisted, every temptation ignored, every moment of deliberate attention compounds into an unstoppable momentum that propels you toward your vision. Time, once squandered on reaction and noise, becomes your ally. You see the difference between urgent and important, between transient distraction and enduring impact. Each hour is invested rather than spent. Energy is allocated to actions that yield exponential returns, emotions are preserved for meaningful engagement, and the mind is clear enough to perceive value beyond immediate gratification. Mastery over time is mastery over life itself. Every decision to act deliberately, to pause before responding, to prioritize wisely, transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Gratitude, often overlooked, becomes a force multiplier. A mind at rest, an energy that is nurtured, and emotions balanced can perceive abundance even amidst struggle. Gratitude shifts perception, opening doors to opportunity and attracting aligned circumstances. It is not a passive state, but an active recognition of potential, of progress, and of the invisible threads connecting effort to outcome. Each acknowledgement of what is working reinforces optimism, resilience, and a forward-moving momentum that carries you through adversity. Courage, tempered by calm and informed by clarity, becomes fearless action. When you are rooted in internal mastery, fear loses its dominion. Obstacles become challenges, setbacks become lessons, and risk becomes calculated opportunity. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is mastery of fear, the ability to act despite discomfort, and the unwavering commitment to pursue vision in the face of uncertainty. Each courageous step strengthens resolve, expands capability, and amplifies influence. The mind, once disciplined, becomes a creative engine. Ideas, strategies, and solutions emerge with startling clarity. Insight, born of stillness and reflection, provides the roadmap to navigate complexity. Energy sustains the execution. Emotions provide the balance. And discipline ensures continuity. Innovation becomes natural, progress inevitable, and vision actionable. Those who cultivate these qualities move through life not as passive participants, but as architects of circumstance, shaping outcomes with deliberate mastery. Every relationship, every interaction benefits from this internal alignment. Presence becomes your gift to others, listening with attention, speaking with intention, acting with integrity. Influence is earned through authenticity and reliability, not through coercion or superficial charm. Connections deepen, trust strengthens, and collaboration flourishes when the energy, emotion, and mind of each participant are respected and elevated. Mastery over self radiates outward, creating an environment where potential can thrive and collective success becomes possible. Obstacles, inevitable in any pursuit of excellence, are no longer feared. They are signals, markers, and invitations to exercise mastery. Each challenge is met with a measured response, each problem dissected with clarity, and each setback transformed into an opportunity for refinement. Persistence, powered by restored energy, calm mind, and balanced emotion, converts barriers into stepping stones. Through this alchemy, adversity ceases to be an external force and becomes a mirror reflecting the strength, capability, and resilience cultivated within. Vision without execution is illusion, and execution without alignment is friction. When mind, body, and emotion are synchronized, execution becomes effortless yet unstoppable. Actions align with intention, efforts compound naturally, and progress accelerates with a force that seems almost preordained. Every goal, no matter how ambitious, becomes attainable through consistent application of mastery, discipline, and clarity. The journey itself becomes a testament to capability, proving that preparation, alignment, and persistence are the true engines of extraordinary achievement. Success, in its purest form, is born from consistency, patience, and the relentless cultivation of excellence. It is not the flashy reward, the sudden windfall, or the external applause that defines achievement. It is the quiet victories, the repeated choices to rise, to act, and to persist, even when no one is watching. Each morning becomes a canvas upon which you paint with intention. Each decision, a brushstroke toward the masterpiece of your life. The energy you restore, The calm you maintain and the emotional balance you hold are not merely tools, they are the very medium through which transformation becomes visible. Wealth, then, is not a number, it is a state of mind. It begins with clarity of purpose, a vision so vivid that indecision dissolves into certainty. The disciplined mind, trained to perceive opportunity, evaluates risk and reward with precision. The balanced emotion ensures that fear does not paralyze and desire does not corrupt. Energy is directed toward creation rather than consumption, building rather than indulging. The wealthy, in essence, are those who have mastered themselves, their habits, their thoughts, their responses, and thereby their world. The law of compounding, long familiar in finance, applies equally to character, knowledge, and action. Every deliberate effort, no matter how small, grows exponentially over time. A single act of discipline today multiplies into habit tomorrow, becomes competence next week, and manifests as mastery over months and years. Each choice to think, act, and respond intentionally strengthens the invisible architecture of success. You are, in effect, the architect of your future wealth, health, and influence, and your blueprint is drafted daily through mindful, consistent action. Adversity, rather than an obstacle, becomes a crucible for growth. Pain, loss, and disappointment are the raw materials of resilience. A calm mind reframes setbacks as lessons. Energy, once scattered in frustration, is now harnessed for strategic response. Emotions, once reactive, are tempered into constructive determination. Those who rise above hardship do so not because life is easier for them, but because they have trained themselves to extract opportunity from discomfort, to see potential in difficulty, and to persist when others surrender. Influence, the invisible currency of impact, is rooted in authenticity and consistency. People follow those who exemplify what they preach, who act in alignment with their principles, and whose calm, balanced presence inspires trust. Communication, then, is not mere exchange of words. It is transmission of certainty, clarity, and vision. A disciplined mind, emotionally grounded, speaks with authority. Energy supports action, not just speech. Influence grows silently, subtly, but inexorably, as those around you recognize mastery and align themselves with it. Learning, continuous and deliberate, fuels both wealth and wisdom. A mind rested and focused can absorb knowledge, discern patterns, and innovate. Curiosity, guided by discipline, transforms information into insight. Each book read, each lesson internalized, each experience reflected upon, compounds into an internal bank of capability that no circumstance can diminish. Knowledge without application remains inert, but when coupled with calm mind, abundant energy, and balanced emotion, it becomes power, power to create, to inspire, and to transform both self and environment. Decision-making, often underestimated, becomes an art perfected through alignment. A restless mind produces hesitation. A scattered energy produces procrastination. Unbalanced emotions produce impulsive action. But when these three pillars converge, decisions are clear, swift, and precise. Action follows thought seamlessly, and the friction of doubt is replaced by momentum. Every choice, guided by clarity, compounds toward outcomes that mirror vision and intention. Indecision becomes rare. Execution becomes second nature. Generosity, paradoxically, multiplies abundance. Those who have mastered self recognize that giving of time, of energy, of knowledge, and of resources is not depletion, but investment. Generosity creates networks of trust, gratitude, and collaboration. The act of giving reinforces the abundance mindset, recalibrates perspective, and energizes the spirit. Balanced emotion ensures giving is authentic, not performative. Disciplined mind ensures it is strategic, not reckless. And calm energy sustains consistent contribution. The result is a ripple effect, where influence, wealth, and opportunity grow beyond imagination. Innovation thrives, where the mind is calm, the heart steady, and the body energized. Creativity is not a chaotic spark, but a disciplined alignment of perception and imagination. By clearing mental clutter, managing energy, and stabilizing emotion, you unlock the capacity to see solutions invisible to others. Problems become playgrounds for ingenuity. Challenges morph into canvases for invention, and ideas, nurtured through action, transform into tangible results. The path of progress is paved not by fleeting inspiration, but by consistent, aligned execution. Persistence, the final and ultimate weapon, ensures that all preparation, all learning, and all energy expenditure bears fruit. Temporary defeat does not define you. Fleeting discomfort does not deter you. The calm mind, balanced emotion, and disciplined energy form an unbreakable triad that sustains effort over the long haul. Every step, taken with intentionality, accumulates into unstoppable momentum. Those who persist, who rise one more time than they fall, who act with clarity despite chaos, invariably arrive where others fail to tread. Discipline is not restriction. It is liberation. The disciplined mind frees itself from the tyranny of fleeting impulses, the capricious demands of emotion, and the draining chaos of scattered energy. Discipline allows you to choose purposefully, to act with precision, and to pursue long-term fulfillment rather than short-term gratification. The wealthy, the fulfilled, the impactful, all share this invisible secret. They have tamed themselves before attempting to master the world. Each moment of restraint, each deliberate choice, compounds into the architecture of a life few dare to imagine. Your thoughts are your most valuable currency. Every idea you nurture, every belief you reinforce, shapes the trajectory of your life. A mind trained to seek opportunity sees it everywhere. A heart disciplined to respond rather than react navigates adversity with calm. An energy channeled toward growth produces results that surprise and inspire. The inner world, when cultivated with care, becomes a magnet for the outer world's rewards. Wealth, influence, happiness. They flow naturally to those who have invested in the cultivation of the mind, the steadiness of emotion, and the mastery of energy. Time, the silent and impartial arbiter of destiny, rewards those who respect it. Each day, each hour, each minute is a seed. How you plant it, how you water it with attention, action, and intention determines the harvest. A scattered mind wastes hours on triviality. A drained energy leaves potential unfulfilled. Unbalanced emotion clouds judgment and action. But a life lived intentionally, with disciplined attention to thoughts, emotions, and energy, compounds into extraordinary results. The rich, in reality, are not those who possess money. They are those who have mastered time, who have made every moment a servant to their vision. Relationships, too, are built upon the same principles. Calm minds foster trust, balanced emotion fosters connection, and disciplined energy fosters contribution. Influence, respect, and collaboration do not arise from authority alone. They arise from presence, consistency, and authenticity. The person who invests in themselves, who cultivates wisdom, who masters their inner state, becomes a beacon that draws others not through manipulation, but through the invisible force of mastery. These connections, nurtured with patience and care, multiply opportunities, amplify impact, and reinforce the cycle of success. Courage is born from preparation. The mind trained in calm analysis, the heart strengthened through balanced emotions, and the body energized for action creates a fortress against fear. Fear does not vanish. It becomes manageable, a tool to gauge risk and refine strategy rather than a shackle that halts motion. The courageous do not act recklessly. They act with informed audacity. Each step into uncertainty, guided by preparation and conviction, builds momentum. Success favors those willing to step into discomfort while maintaining control over self. Vision, the lighthouse of human endeavor, must be nourished constantly. A clear vision aligns every thought, action, and energy expenditure. Without vision, discipline becomes mechanical, effort becomes scattered, and achievement is haphazard. But with a compelling, deeply internalized vision, each choice becomes intentional, each action becomes strategic, and every setback becomes a lesson rather than a defeat. The most prosperous do not merely react to life, they design it. Their thoughts are directed, their emotions regulated, and their energy invested in alignment with a vision so vivid it commands the universe to respond. Habits are the compound interest of character. Each small, consistent action, rising early, reading diligently, exercising with purpose, reflecting intentionally, creates an internal momentum invisible to the casual observer, but devastatingly effective over time. Habits form silently, yet they shape destiny. Energy devoted to cultivating positive routines pays dividends in clarity, strength, and resilience. Emotions, balanced and disciplined, ensure these habits persist even when motivation wanes. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary lives lies not in occasional brilliance, but in relentless, disciplined, and emotionally intelligent consistency. Opportunity favors those who are prepared. Life may appear random, chaotic, and unfair, but those who have cultivated calm minds, Balanced emotions and disciplined energy can see patterns where others see only chaos. They can recognize openings, seize chances, and act decisively while others hesitate. Wealth, influence, and fulfillment are often less about luck than about preparation. Meeting moment, meeting chance with readiness, action, and focus. Those who prepare consistently and master themselves inevitably stand ready when opportunity arrives, turning fleeting moments into lifelong advantages. The mind, emotion, and energy, when mastered together, create unstoppable force. The calm mind identifies truth and strategy. The balanced emotion sustains courage and creativity. The disciplined energy converts intention into action. These pillars interact, amplify, and support each other. The individual who invests in all three becomes a self-reinforcing system, capable of extraordinary achievement. This mastery is not about control over the world, it is control over self. And that alone is the path to freedom, wealth, and true impact.